How you doing, everyone? This is going to be a better instruction set on the Empire State Building model that I'm going to look for you guys to work on in Onshape. My last YouTube video wasn't good, and I only saw 6 people watched it. So, and the other thing about what's going on the back end of the world here is that in my personal teacher shared with me, this is what I should see from every single person that I've got. Um, every student that I've got in all my classes universally are required to have things set up the same way. And this is what I've been slowly trying to introduce the concept of, is having a document per student. Um, and then you're going to have these things down in the bottom called part studios, is how you're going to create new stuff. And you can see I'm actually on Maggie's file here to do an Empire State Building design, because yeah, that's how this can work. I can draw and help you out with whatever needed in the event of you need some support. And this is just a fun example. This is something that you can do in as detailed a drawing or as simplified a version as you want. The general idea is a fun way of looking at design stuff is looking through, reality, Google Earthing things and seeing things as they are, to help you and design better things. Anyway, the bottom line here is that I have a very simplified version of a base, and then like a lower center section, an upper center section where it starts to spire out. And you can see this was the rendition of this design. Maggie did a great job, but the video was crusty quality, and so you can take a look at a review of just me going into creating a part studio. The purpose of this drawing is showing you the concept of centering or aligning things vertically or however you best can with things like a center point rectangle. This one tool, being able to pull a rectangle from the middle of something out, and you can adjust this however you want. And then going back and forth from sketching to extrusions and building on that whole process of have to now create your own sketch plane on the top of an object and repeat the process, but using a center point rectangle and seeing indicator things like this box that comes up when you're on the midpoint of something. This works on the midpoint of a line or the midpoint of an entire object. And you can see I have an origin point in the program. I click here on top, it corresponds to the top, front, and right planes that you can start with, and then you can draw on anything, and you can also create more of these planes in space for a lot of different purposes. So in this case, I'm going to look at this on an angle here and pull another rectangle out. Using that center point alignment makes building, constructing things in general much, much, much easier. So I keep this super simple. And then it also is, because it's a vertical design, it sort of requires you to get used to the zooming in on things comfortably, using the mouse wheel as a button, repeating this process, using center points to your benefit. And you can, let's see, do something a little bit different than I've done for any of the instruction, just to make it a little bit more complicated and let you guys see it. There's different options. So we'll just give it a bit more texture and look more realistic. And something I haven't said yet in a video for y'all is that you can hit the extrude button right when you're in a sketch, and it's going to do a pretty good job at selecting what it thinks you're looking to do. But there's a couple of different ways to go about this. Like you can see the center of this did not get selected. If I click on it, and I'm clicking on it by way of clicking in this area where the sketch is, you can click off and on any section of this stuff and turn it on and turn it off. And I'm actually going to just stop that. Now, instead of just hitting the extrude button when you're here, the other option for this is to hit the green check mark and then hit the extrude button, and you can start to select different regions of what you're looking to deal with in this kind of manner. I don't know why it's giving me red indicators. There's something going on here. There's some sort of glitch, I feel like, in the program. Maybe not. All right, bag that idea. There's something to do with the layering here, but if I just hit extrude and like something is missed in this case, you can just select that extra spot, pull this upright. And then I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to add a little bit more detail to this one up here too. And the thing about this is the more you practice it, I've been training videoed up and doing this repeatedly, and the more I do it, the faster I get. And it's like anything else that you train your body to do, you're going to get quicker, more accurate the more you practice. So you can do a second version of this with this video if you've already done one before, you know, and this will get you some more detail. And then I'm actually going to add another layer. The other thing about selecting sketches is you can select the surface here. This is actually my preference because if you once you click this button, anything you sketch or anything you click is going to turn into a sketch. And sometimes things are complex and you can click anything, and if you accidentally misclick, then you've got to undo that. So before I start, I mean, my preference is to click this surface if I'm going to sketch on it, and then select the sketch button. For me, that feels more comfortable. I can then I'll just come straight up from there. Just go with it. It's just something that starts off looking similar and is going to end up looking much like the kind of design of the skyscraper, like the Empire State Building, but you can build whatever you want. Again, I'm generally going to do it like this, where I'm clicking here, sketching. Again, this is the beauty of this. Remember, you're in a sub menu, and people sometimes make a mistake. They get started with the corner rectangle, and it just doesn't work. This centering thing that you got going here is a beautiful thing. Now, I'm going to do my last extrude here is going to be an angled. It's called a draft. Draft angle is just a pitch on something. If you're creating a mold and you need to get something like a chess piece pulled out of the mold that's used to make it, it's got to be angled the right way, otherwise it can't be removed. Drafting is one of those things that has to be done in a lot of designs and computer stuff, or computer design for making things. And this is too big to start with, so that can start at a smaller size. This can be just left like this, and we can have something that doesn't look like the Empire State Building. It really doesn't matter at that point. You can see different versions where you can actually look at Google Earth and you can see how it's done as much more of a tower or a spire. And then you can go to circles. Actually, that's really what it is. It's cylindrical. If you wanted to see how that's done, you can just back out of this. I can show you real quick. Right click and deleting on these parts is how you can just quickly get rid of them. And I can go into a sketch up here, pull a center point, circle. Just gotta make sure it's aligned the right way. Get that box in the middle. See, it's a lot of zooming in and out, a lot of pressing down mouse controls to do this quickly. My mouse just froze up. Go figure. My battery just died. Interesting. So that's that. Yeah, I'm not going to continue recording, but I do want to keep this recording, so I'm just going to leave it. If I can. Actually, this is a perfect opportunity to show you guys. If I click on the bottom right corner where it says top on this cube, it's going to bring me back to the very centered view. If I could do this with the mouse or without a mouse, with the mouse track pad. If you take away the visibility on the default planes and then click that, it also zooms into whatever you have on your screen. Those take up some space and that's a much better view. One other thing I can do, right click, edit the appearance of this thing to show you quickly. If you've made it this far, you've clearly got some patience, and you can go and you can make things look a little bit nicer with this. And then I'll talk some more down the road about color coding and making things specifically what you want them to look like. But that's a very quick, much better video of the Empire State design and going through the controls. Sorry, this is a little bit clumsy, but it's going to work and we're going to get there. We're going to design some fun stuff. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it, guys. Take care.